Hello, it's Nick, your home energy advisor. Just want to take some time this morning to go over some lighting terminology. There's a lot of terms that can be confusing to a consumer out there, so I just wanted to go through what they are. The first, just the agenda, we're going to go over lumens versus watts, very important topic, omnidirectional, color rendering index, Kelvin temperature, and finally lamp life. So lumens versus watts. The difference is that lumens tell us how bright the bulb is. Watts tell us how much energy the bulb uses. So, for example, you probably remember before the introduction of CFLs and LEDs that this is how you kind of judged how bright a bulb was. If you bought a 40-watt bulb, it was not as bright as a 60, not as bright as a 75, so forth and so on. And that's not actually true. All this is doing is measuring how much electricity it uses. The real true measure of light is lumens. So over here, a 40-watt bulb gives out approximately 450 lumens. 60-watt bulb gives out 800 lumens, so forth and so on. So when you're looking at a package, what you want to look for is lumens, because, for example, a 60-watt, an 800 lumen LED only uses 9 watts of energy. That's how you save money. So instead of focusing on watts, customers now look for lumens when shopping for light bulbs. Lighting program focused on Energy Star LEDs, which use the same light output while using less energy than traditional bulbs. Omnidirectional is another important topic. This generally only pertains to LEDs. There's a lot of for lack of a better word, crap LEDs out there that essentially are flashlight bulbs. So here's an example. You have a LED bulb and you put it under a lampshade, and all the bulb does is shine directly up, almost like a flashlight. What you want for a bulb is something that's called omnidirectional, which means it has a 360-degree light output. So when you're reading underneath a lamp, you can actually see what you're reading. It's not just pointing up to the sky. Very important. One note here, flood lamps are not subject to this specification because they are actually directional products. So this is only refers to what we call A-line bulbs, or layman's terms, the old Edison bulbs that you used to see. They just look like, normal bulbs. But when you're looking at the package, you want to look for an omnidirectional product. Color rendering index. It's a scale of 0 to 100, rating a lamp's effectiveness to render colors. So again, you can go and buy cheap bulbs with a CRI of 50. And what happens is it doesn't the light doesn't mimic natural light. So, you got this picture here. When you go out in the sunlight, it's going to look more like this. So if you buy low CRI, putting on makeup and doing things like that is not a good idea, because you're not going to actually be able to see what it actually looks like when you go outside. So what we recommend is anything with a CRI 80 or higher. It's required for Energy Star certification, and the naked eye generally can't tell the difference between anything above 80 plus CRI. So one of the things you want to look for in a bulb is a CRI above 80 or more. Kelvin color temperature. There are a few videos on my website that touch upon this, and they're light bar demonstrations that you can actually see the difference in color temperature. I encourage you to go to energysavingadvisor.com and check that out. But this is a pretty simple explanation. It ranges from 0 all the way up to 10,000 Kelvin. And what happens is right around the 3,000 Kelvin, it starts to mimic what I like to call sunlight. It looks like, if you had your window open or a lamp on, you really couldn't tell the difference. As you move further and further up this chart, you'll notice that the lights here get bluer and bluer and bluer. So these do have practical applications. A lot of factories like to use these high Kelvin temperatures Some people like them in a kitchen. My parents have them in a kitchen, and or under reading lamps. It really makes the print pop when you're looking at them. So any sort of I prefer, but again, it's everyone's personal preference. 3,000 Kelvin bulbs and any other application besides like a work light or security lighting, reading spaces, garages, and offices. These color temperatures, 25 to 32, it just gives a nice, warm, calm, inviting light. So, but, look at the video, see what bulb you like, and, you can make your decision for yourself. Finally, we're going to go over lamp life. So LEDs, CFLs, and incandescents. LEDs, some of them last up to 2,500 hours. I do have a note here that the Energy Star certification lowered its LED lifetime down to 1,500 hours, but it's still a lot. It's probably about 10 years of normal use, so you don't have to replace them as often. CFLs, average lifespan is 8,000 hours. Incandescents, 1,200. One thing you want to look for here in the lamp life is, think about this, so 1,200 hours, and this is 2,500 hours. So essentially this lasts 22 times longer. The LED lasts 22 times longer than the incandescent. So you want to think about second price tag when making your purchasing decisions. This one costs more initially, but this one will use more energy, use 60 watts, and it also, you'll have to replace it 22 times. So if you factor that in, the cost of buying 22 bulbs versus one LED, it's a pretty good deal. LEDs still save more energy and they last longer. You can see here at the bottom of the chart, they use 84% less energy than an incandescent. And here, CFLs, there are some drawbacks to them. I have a CFL tutorial video on my website as well. But they do use 75% less energy, but they do contain mercury, which can be an issue. That's it for today. If you have any questions, you can just visit my website or energysaveradvisor.com. You can email me at energysavingadvisor@gmail.com or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.